Oliver. Good morning. Was originally supposed to go to Connecticut today with Amy so that she can go to her baby bumpers June group, I think they're called. They're doing little moms meetup. But we talked about it last night and I'm not gonna go, so we'll end up just staying home and doing some work while Amy goes to Connecticut with Oliver today. So just filling up the car for her before she heads out. Not sure exactly what the agenda will be yet. We'll get home and figure it out. Okay, so Amy is off in Mystic, Connecticut. I am here by myself. After they left, I went back to bed and slept for another 2.5 hours. And normally I would feel really guilty about it. I think I've talked about this before. I've slowly come around to the idea that if I need sleep, then my body will tell me that I need sleep, and just to get the sleep. It is better than sitting in front of my phone and just scrolling through Instagram because I am too tired to immediately get to work, but need a break, need some sort of break and some sort of distraction. And so the best break is just to get rest and to sleep. So I'm actually very much okay with getting those few extra hours of sleep and then waking up at around 12 and getting back to work. So for the first hour, kind of just answered emails and got back to people on certain things, kind of warming up. Just spent the last hour working on a doc that I'm sending to the team that is clarifying who owns what in our content uploads for fall 2019. Before it was just me and Brian basically working on this with some support from Carlo, but now we have, I think, 4 other team members involved, and so who is the DRI on each part is not really clear yet, and so I just wanted to start that conversation. So that took me about an hour, and now I'm gonna either work on the newsletter or work on my August financial update, which I had started while I was on holiday but didn't get around to finishing. So that's where I'm at right now, and we'll just keep chugging away and working until Amy and Oliver come back. Last time I played poker again for the first time in a long time. Drove down to River Casino, which is in Schenectady, about 30 minutes away from where I live. And it was the first time stepping into the casino to play poker. God, it's probably been a few years. And so I was excited. I was thinking about a lot of different things. How would I play? Would it feel the same? Is it something I feel like I can improve at? Yet at the same time, is it something that I can balance with everything else that I want to do? I mean, the more things that I take on, the more things that I want to do for fun. It's just going to remove my focus from things that I want to also be doing for fun, but is probably a higher priority, whether that's working on this SEO project or continuing to build my brand and writing my own content. I wanted to go basically, so I just went and I wanted to see how it went. And there are 3 things that I kind of wanted to talk about for this video. The first thing is I forgot how fast the play is at the casino and how quickly you need to make those decisions. The pace really shocked me at first, and I felt a little flustered as I was getting dealt the cards and looking at it and trying to evaluate what was on the board. It was just a lot to take in at one time, and I just was not used to the pace. When you're doing a home game, you have to shuffle the deck in between, you're rotating the deck, it takes a long time for cards to be dealt out, and just a totally different experience at the casino that was not familiar anymore. And so it took a little bit to kind of get settled in. That was the first thing. 2 more things. First, I'll talk about analyzing my play, and then third, I want to talk about where I see poker fitting into everything else that I'm trying to do. So in terms of analyzing my play, I thought I actually did pretty well in the beginning, trying to be aggressive, selectively aggressive, and getting my money in when it was good. However, towards the middle, I lost a few pots, and I think I lost a lot of confidence and was just thinking about not walking out of there having lost money, which is just the wrong way to think about this play. I had initially set up a goal of, okay, I can spend $1,000 on this poker education, and that is basically the bankroll, and I'm going to start from there. And so this $200 that I had bought in for, you can't really think about it as $200 that I will no longer have. This is just an educational expense, and I need to be willing to lose that money in order to develop the skills and learn those lessons. And I just didn't have the right mindset, I felt like, as the game continued to progress, and I lost a few of those hands. And so there are a couple situations where I should have been, again, selectively aggressive, and for whatever reason, I took my foot off the pedal, and that was an interesting learning experience. So that's kind of my overall analysis on the play. I ended up $20 up, but again, like, I just felt like my play was better in the beginning, really sagged in the middle, and towards the end, I made a few plays and was able to come back a little bit. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is how will this playing poker affect the rest of my life? And the point is that it can't. This is definitely just a hobby. It's not something that I want to dedicate an enormous amount of time to. And so there needs to be certain rules that I follow in order to guarantee that I am maintaining and doing everything else that I want to be doing. Like, my fitness should not be affected. My finances should not be affected. The amount of time I spend with my family should not be affected. The amount of time that I want to be putting into side projects should not be affected. And so I was thinking about the rule sets, and I came up with a couple. The first one is if I set a time to leave the poker room, then that's the time I leave. And let's say I want to play for 3 hours, then that means I need to get there at 8. And if I have to leave by 11, then I leave by 11. I don't just keep playing till the next hand or letting it run over 45 minutes. Because then the next thing you know, it affects your sleep. It affects your sleep. It affects all your productivity for the next day and even for the next week. The next rule is sometimes I set timers to do something late at night. For example, I'll set a timer at 9:45 to cut this video and then post it up onto YouTube. And if that alarm goes off, then that means I need to stop whatever I'm doing, go do that first, and then come back to the poker table. That happened last night. The alarm went off, and I just stayed, and I tried to edit while I was at the poker table, but it's just too much going on. And I'm better off taking 7 to 10 minutes, walking away from the table, letting those hands go by. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to see them anyway, right? It doesn't matter if, like, oh, what if I would have gotten aces, or what if I would have won a big hand? It really doesn't matter. Like, that future no longer exists. So just step away from the table and do what I got to do, and then come back. And finally, in terms of making sure that it doesn't affect anything else, it's scheduling time to play poker only when, like, there's no other alternative, I suppose. If there's nothing else to do on a Friday, if I don't have work due, this is not something that I'm going to regularly schedule into my calendar on a weekly basis. It is opportunistic. It is lower priority. It's just something that is okay to do for fun. And I eventually want to get good at it, but it's just not the priority right now. I want to keep the skill warm. I want to continue to learn, but it's okay to learn it at a slower pace because it is not the priority.
Okay. Yeah, let's play.